Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. So, at the beginning of this series, I summed up this series and it basically said it could be summed up in 4 words. Personal accountability and personal responsibility. I have held men and women to account on certain things that they're doing when it comes to these issues, and who would I be if I didn't hold myself at account too? So I am going to tell this story and, maybe give a warning to people to not do what I did. So, I was a simp before the word simp even existed. Now, I have to be I don't want to air too much dirty laundry on this platform. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I generally don't speak ill of people who aren't in the room to defend themselves. And actually, I don't speak much ill about my ex anyway. She knows that I've wished her the best, and it is what it is. So, in order for me to explain this, you have to understand one thing. For most of the relationship, we both were dealing with significant mental illness. I don't think she will mind if I tell you that she was dealing with OCD and schizophrenia, and I was dealing with a couple of anxiety disorders plus depression. We were most ill at the beginning of the relationship, but there were still issues throughout with mental illness, and unfortunately our mental illnesses were playing off each other too. It was no one thought we were going to succeed, and in the end we didn't, but no one thought we were going to make it as long as we did either. Maybe we shouldn't have. So, that being said, I will say this, so all through the relationship, looking back, there were warning signs that it wasn't going to work. Some of those warning signs I didn't see. Hindsight is always 20/20. You're always going to see more looking back than you are in that moment. That being said, there were things in the moment that I ignored that I shouldn't have. There were definitely signs there that things were going to go exactly the way they went. There were times in that relationship where I really believe I cared a lot more than about her than she did about me. Now, truth be told, some of the times with what she was going through, she couldn't care about anyone, and she just had to go through what she was going through because of her mental illness. That being said, it always felt like I was ready to sacrifice anything for her, and she was a lot more hesitant to sacrifice for me, even when she was healthier, which should have been a red flag, and I should have seen it, and I didn't at the time. Which I kind of wish I did at this point. I spent 10 years with her on and off. I gave my time, my energy, my resources, and the biggest sacrifice was to my health. I was helping her get better when I should have been getting better myself. Not that I didn't get better myself, but I really should have worked on me more than I did, because I wanted her to be better, because then we could be better. That being said, there were many things that just I at the moment I was blind to it, because I thought that she was the one for me. there were times when her, how do I put this without going too much into detail? Her illness, well, so this is the argument point. Her illness told her, at least from my perspective, her illness told her that, well, for reason ABC through XYZ, we couldn't be together. And she would buy into that, and then we would break up. That happened embarrassingly way too many times. And I should have said enough is enough after the third or fourth time, and I kept getting back together with her because I thought she was the one. It's hard to think logically when you love someone. Love is a very powerful emotion. You may not be aware of this, but the more powerful the emotion you're dealing with, the less your logic can kick in, the logic part of your brain. It actually shuts down the logic part of your brain when you're dealing with heavy or deep emotions. And it makes it very hard for you to think logically in that moment. Not an excuse, just what it is. So, you know, we kept going through this cycle of breaking up. Eventually her saying, oh, I'm doing better now, my illness isn't as bad. I realized that it was my illness, and I want to get back together with you. And this is where I was stupid, or the most stupid. I said, okay, no problem. You got to do something next time to help protect us. And instead of holding her to that, I unfortunately just let her coming back and doing nothing, and that was on me. Now, do I regret that time with her? Yes and no. It taught me a lot. I learned a lot of valuable lessons. And I think those were important lessons I had to learn, and the only way I was going to learn them is if I fell on my face. Sometimes I have to fall on my face and learn to pick myself up from that, and that's how I learned never to fall on my face again. It won't happen another time with another person. It won't. I know what it's like to go through that. I know what it's like to just feel like you're going around in circles. Not again. Not again. That being said, I spent 10 years with a person who couldn't love me as much as I loved them. And that's a lot of time. And that took me out of my prime years, basically, for finding someone else. And that's on me. I tell this story to people, and a lot of them are like, oh, you must be really angry with her. You must be bitter. I am angry. I am bitter. Not with her. I'm angry at myself. I'm bitter with myself. I'm like, you stupid schmuck, look what you did. Lots of things happen, some positive, a lot of negatives, because of what I went through. At least I can say lesson learned, and they're not happening again. And that's how I think we have to look at it. There would be a lot of people. There was a time 3 months in where she was kind of hesitant about being in the relationship or not, and a lot of people would say, well, you have to walk away at that point. It's easy to say that, admittedly, if you're not in that situation. And yes, there are some people that will be like, nope, that's it, I'm done. And maybe that's best for them. Maybe that would be best for everyone, I don't know. That wasn't me at the time. It is what it is. I've paid the price. I'm not where I could be, I don't think, if I wasn't in that relationship. That being said, since I've been out of that relationship, I have now built a plan. I mean, she wasn't the reason, because I actually had health concerns at the time, but right after she and I broke up for the last time, I had some heavy duty health concerns, and so I needed to lose weight, because otherwise who knows what would have happened. But that kind of spurred me to be like, yeah, I want to be the best me I can at this point. And so I've built the plan. I've built the plan. I'm not going to talk about the plan with anyone, except to go into very basic things. Become as physically healthy as I can. Become as mentally healthy as I can. Which, by the way, that one I have succeeded way further than I thought I could. Now, I'm not suggesting this for people. And if you decide to do this, understand that it's the harder road, and I'm going to make a specific video talking about my mental illness struggles and how I can do what I'm doing right now. Because I know there are going to be a lot of people who hear what I am about to say, and they're going to think it's a good idea for them, and I'm here to tell you it may not be. It's very, very hard work. It's like walking a tightrope without a net to catch you at the bottom. But for the last 3 years, I have not been on an antidepressant for my depression. Now, that's not to say I haven't had the small episodes of depression through that time, but I've been able to quickly realize that they are episodes of depression and deal with them in other ways than taking an antidepressant. And that has been my greatest success. So now I've got a plan to draw up my mental health, my physical health, and my financial health. Someone is very needing my attention right now. But I will say this. It's very easy to say, well, I would do this, well, I would do that, if you're not in that situation. It's a lot harder when you're in that situation. I get that. I mean, it took her finally breaking up with me and deciding, no, this is it, I'm not coming back to you. I probably, if she had said, yes, let's go, I'd probably still be in that relationship. That is what it is. And that's on me. Like I say, I'm not bitter towards her. I was the one who stayed in when I should have left. That's not her fault. That's on me. And you know what? I have learned from my mistakes, and I hope I will never. Well, I don't expect to date anytime soon, but I hope I never get into that situation again. And I think if I do now, I'm more prepared for what I need to do for myself, let alone anyone else. Big stretch, buddy. So it's I mean, I could go into 1,000 excuses why I did what I did. They're just excuses. I mean, I thought she was the one. I was wrong. I should have realized a lot sooner, and I should have cut it off. I don't think I would ever say, like, oh, well, that three month in point, I would end things. Oh, you're going to get in trouble, huh? No, Shadow, go on. Hey, go on. Trying to get into stuff that I don't want him to get into. But I definitely should have left sooner than I did. And I should have left. Shouldn't have left it up to her. But, hey, you live, you learn. It gave me a bad hand in life that I did what I did, and now I'm paying for that. But that's okay, because now I'm building up and trying to get a better hand. It is what it is. That's reality. I know a lot of people will see this and be like, oh, see, he's a simp comes to mind. He's a simp. So what does he know about anything? Well, I've been through it. And, I know people say don't be a simp. You probably shouldn't be to the level that I was. But if you don't care deeply for the person you love, why are you in that relationship? Something to think about. If it's just for utility, well, I mean, that's fine. You can have that sort of relationship. But are you going to feel fulfilled feel fulfilled at the end of that too. Like I said, I'm not saying that to be a simp to the level that I was, but I don't think the extreme and the opposite is any better than this extreme was either. But there you go. That's my personal story. At some point, maybe I'll go into more detail, but like I said before, I don't like to air dirty laundry, especially when the person isn't here to defend themselves. I don't think my ex would be worried about anything I said, but, it is what it is. Now, this is the end of the series. So, what are we going to talk about next? Well, that's for next week. See you then.